Facts First presents Why 555 is always used for phone numbers on TV and in movies. Anybody who's ever watched television or who has seen a movie knows that the fictional phone numbers begin with 555. You ever wondered why TV and film use 555 for their phone numbers? If you want to know why, then keep watching. First, help us spread the word about Factsverse by clicking that like button, and also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. Back when Tommy Two-Tone came out with his one-hit song 897-8309, the people who were unfortunate enough to have that phone number suffered greatly. People would call the number using various different area codes to see who the numbers may have belonged to. And that's why we now use 555. Nobody wants strangers calling them because they heard a phone number on their favorite TV show or movie or in a great song. The 555 phone numbers, they've been used now since the 1950s. James Buckley, the author of Easy as Pie, The Countless Ways We Use Numbers Every Day, believes that the continuation of the 555 is what made movie writers and producers use these numbers. Since no place in the United States has a phone number that begins with the letters J, K, and L, this number worked out perfect. Since the 1970s, there is one way that could use the 555 phone number. Dialing 555-1212, it would ring directory assistance if you needed to get a phone number for somebody. The phone number 555-2368 has been used in TV and film more than once. First, it's the number for the Ghostbusters. It was also the number to call the hotel room in Memento. And you could reach Jim from the Rockford Files at this number as well. Jamie Summers from The Bionic Woman, she also had the number 555-2368. Pretty popular number. Today, there are people who are requesting a 555 number. These numbers have been available for personal and business use since 1994. It was the year that the North American Numbering Plan Administration began accepting applications for these numbers. Unfortunately, this didn't work out all that well. People were taking 555 numbers as quickly as they could. The numbers 555-0110 and 555-0199, they were held back for fictional use. And it wasn't long before the phone companies began protesting the use of the 555 numbers. According to Verizon, in order to hook up nationwide 555 services, it would cost them $108 million. While they didn't want to do it, they did, but they did charge applicants of a 555 number $2,500 in order to have it. There are some cases where television shows don't use 555 numbers. This will often occur when the network sets up a message system on the phone number spoken by somebody on television or in the movies, and they do this for publicity reasons. The number for a nightclub on One Tree Hill was not a 555 number. If you called the North Carolina number that it gave in the show, you would actually get a recording giving information on how to purchase a real album created by fictional characters. This type of thing happens a lot nowadays. There was one time that a show did not use the 555 phone number. The Gilmore Girls is the show that it happened on. On one of the show's later episodes, a phone number with an 860 area code was given for Luke's Diner, a fictional restaurant on the show. Since 860 is the Connecticut area code, it was perfect. At the time, the number had an automated voice message for Luke's Diner for fans to call. When the show went off the air, though, they no longer needed that number. That meant that it went back into the pool of phone numbers that were available for anybody to get. Well, a Connecticut man got the number, and everything was fine for a while. But when Netflix released the entire series of Gilmore Girls, people started hearing that number again, and they started calling it. That meant this man's phone was ringing off the hook for quite a while. Fans were hearing the number and calling it, hoping to hear Luke from Luke's Diner. Instead, the fans got the man who owned the number. Fortunately, he was a good sport about it, and he didn't mind taking the calls. He even chose not to change the number because he kind of got a kick out of the phone calls. You know, if I were him, I'd probably start answering the phone, "Luke's Diner." You know, there are a few instances where people don't use the 555 phone numbers for television and movies, but overall, it is the go-to number. Subscribe for more.